All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to our daily success call for Wednesday, the 6th of April, 2022. John Lavinia here with you. It is 1:15 p.m. here in Florida. I hope you're having a great day or evening, depending on where you are. We got people tuning in either live, not too many live right now, but tuning in on YouTube and from all over the world. So just so you know, I am excited to be here with you. As is Lana. She was here with you yesterday. So hopefully you guys had a great session with her. I know she's just getting her feet wet with all this and getting to meet a bunch of the characters here in this community, but and some characters we have, that's for sure. So good to see you guys. I see a few of you here, more tuning in right now. Wanted to talk with you today a little bit about time, which is so one thing. You've heard the phrase time management before, which is kind of a misnomer because you can't really manage time. You can manage activities within a set period of time, but we all get the same amount of time. And so I was thinking today, I had something come up for me in one of my businesses where I could see that I have, in some cases, I've erroneously invested time in things that were not going to benefit in the long term. And so I wanted to kind of take that up with you here today and see about, if this would put a little pep in your step when it comes to how you're investing your time right now. Because look, guys, we all know that the best time to build your online business is, yesterday, last year, 20 years ago, right? That's the best time, right? So when's the second best time? Well, now. But here's the rub. If we're approaching what we're doing now, let's say you've got some nice training, you've got some methods that you can apply to develop this business that you've decided to venture into. But if you approach it with the same level of commitment or intensity or intention that you've approached it with up to this point, well, how much have you gotten done up to this point? We already, kind of revealed that it would have been great to already have this up and running. So then here's the question. When it comes to activity management in a given period of time, can you assess, and you just got to take the time to look, okay, but can you assess high leverage versus low leverage actions? Here's what I mean by this. I have a very tight schedule and I run multiple businesses and I'm a crazy person, and yes, all that, and it's all very nice. But even where I'm at right now in my business and in my life, I can see where sometimes I work in my business, but not on my business. Aha, see the difference? One word difference. Working in your business versus working on your business. So working in your business can be quite profitable, right? As any self-employed person knows, you get to write your own check. That's fantastic. But again, here's a consideration on time. How much time can you put in on low leverage activities? Sure, you can be profitable and, as the saying goes, eat what you kill, okay? But then you got to show up again tomorrow and the next day and forever. I believe it was Warren Buffett who said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, then you will work until the day you die. So let's look at high leverage activities. These are things that we can do to work on our business, not just in it, but on it. And these are things that typically are going to come with some sort of a delayed gratification, right? So like a farmer plants a seed, nice, very nice. That doesn't mean he's eating, fruit in 15 seconds or something. There's a gestation period for everything. There's a gestation period. Hence the 2020 hindsight of, the best time to start this was years ago or, whatever. But the second best time is now. The point is to find things that you can do with the time that you have that will not only bear fruit and be gratifying in the short term in a low leverage kind of a situation, but also that are building your empire for consistent increase over time, because time's going to happen anyway, right? Remember, you can't manage time. Okay. So time's going to occur. Fine. Yeah. You're going to be a year older a year from now, with or without having achieved your goal. So then the question is, what can you do to allocate and to prioritize activities within that year or today? I mean, whatever the range of time is that we're looking at, this week, right? So whatever, what can you do to prioritize activities so they are going to be beneficial for you in the short term and the long term? There was a guy named Ivy Lee who showed up at Charles Schwab's office, the Charles Schwab, not just some Charles Schwab branch, investment banking, but Mr. Schwab himself. We're going back to the early 1900s now. And he said, I've got this great time and activity business management idea that I want to share with you. And he got through to Mr. Schwab and he showed him the idea. And Charles Schwab said, well, I'll pay you, I'll try it on and I'll pay you whatever I think it's worth. And so Mr. Lee said, all right, so take out a piece of paper, Mr. Schwab, and on the paper, write down everything you need to do tomorrow. So when you show up at your office tomorrow, here are all the tasks that are on your to-do list. So let's go ahead and make the list. And he went ahead and he wrote down all the things. He said, great. Now assess the list in order of priority, starting with number one, most important, and then number two, and on you go. And so he went ahead and he numbered the different items, gave them a rank, if you will. And the final piece of the instruction was, okay, great. So when you come into your office tomorrow, start with number one and don't go on to number two until you finish number one. That's it. A couple months went by. Charles Schwab sent a letter to Mr. Lee. And in the letter, it said, from a business perspective, this is the best activity management advice I've ever received, and encloses a check for $20,000. And that's when $20,000 meant something. So now you can all send me $20,000. Pass the collection basket, everyone. Keep the 20 grand, but do this. I have, because I've got so many things going on, I've got the ability to be buried under it. The weight, the mental weight, okay, not physical weight, but the mental weight, which some people could call overwhelm. Really, I think what it comes down to is confusion on what to do first, what to do next, what to say no to, what to say yes to, stuff like that. Unless I write it down and prioritize it. Considering that whatever you've done with your time up to this point, the 50 years or whatever you've been walking around sucking air on this planet, some of it's been fruitful. Well done. Okay. Some of it, not so much. But could you take and adopt this sort of a policy with yourself? Imagining that it just cost you $20,000 for that advice. Would you use it? Look, as easy as it is to do the right thing, it's even easier to just not do it. So I'm asking you to do it. Actually, I'm asking myself to do it more often, because I'll tell you what, I can get buried under with all the stuff, all the considerations and all the maybes. See, maybe's crazy. Maybe, see, if we don't have definite, prioritized, here's the stuff that is important, says me, then we get impinged upon by all the other urgencies, whether important or not, usually not, but all the shiny objects, all the other things that will consume your time. They will. Remember, we're talking about activity management. One activity could be you reading your email 20 times a day. That's the statistic. That's how often people check their email, 20 times a day. That's everyone else's agenda for you. That's what your inbox is. I'm not saying don't read your email. I'm just saying put it on your list or schedule it. Here's the time where I shall empty my inbox, and then empty your inbox. But you weren't divided in your attention all the rest of the time, because it was not the inbox, everyone else's agenda for you. It was your agenda for you, which you decided. Self-determinism, baby. I mean, sign me up. That is good stuff. And isn't that what we all want? I mean, is there anyone here who enrolled in this, program and course, and you're going to learn e-commerce and all this because you want to be a slave and just take orders? No, you want freedom. time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, self-determined action. That's why you're here. Fantastic. Okay, we'll start demonstrating that in little ways by reclaiming the time which you already have. I know you do because you're here, right? You're still above ground and something's working, right? So that's cool. So since you've got this time, why don't we make the most of it? Because look, we could have this conversation next year. If nothing changes, nothing changes, right? I mean, yeah, we could talk about how we could have done it. Yeah, we could have focused a bit more. We could have prioritized and not sat there in a state of mystery and contemplation, or the busyness of life, which is going to happen with you or without you. I see what Stu wrote in the chat here. Some of us check our emails that often because we're using it as a task avoidance tool. Yes, work avoidance. Some of us are professionals, expert level at avoiding work. What is work? All of our new members, I tell you to make sure you understand every single word, right? So let's understand what that word means. Work. Work is on purpose action. There you go. That's work. And we do it like a lot. And it's awesome, right? What's the alternative? No action or no purpose. I mean, that you want to talk about being miserable. Some of the most miserable people I've ever met in my life. They're just sitting there around, wondering what's for lunch, like no purpose. In fact, while they're eating lunch, they're asking what's going to be for dinner. Like, really? Holy crap. Now, I'm kind of on the other side of it. So I'm not saying that I'm right or better. I'm just saying that I'm different. And I could go 12 hours and forget to eat because I'm just so engrossed in my work, in my purpose. Maybe that's a better way to say it. But to what end? Hopefully a high leverage scenario so that what? I've got more options. Think about this, guys. You get this right. This meaning the methods that you're applying here, or whatever methods, right? You get it right. And then what? You make money and you get what? Options in your life. Money buys you options. People say money won't make you happy. Okay, well, I like having options. Money buys options, and that kind of makes me happy. So do what you want with the logic. Given the choice, I mean, honestly, if I asked any of you, given the choice to have a lot of money and be miserable, or be broke and be miserable, which would you choose? Money and miserable. You'll figure out a way to be less miserable. So money and the happiness thing, that's just talk from people who are broke. In fact, read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. It's one of the books I recommended for you all. It's very conversational. It's light duty. It's fun. But some great insights. So don't neglect it. Okay. But yeah, he even says that in the book. People that tell you all these, these cliches about, poor as a church mouse, or, we may not be rich, but we're honest and whatever. Yeah, they're all broke. He even had somebody come up to him in a seminar and said, well, I tried this and that, and, but that, he said, well, hold on, let me guess. You're broke. Well, I got this thing, and it's like, you're broke, right? Well, yeah, I'm broke, right? So all the rationalization, all the rationing of lies to ourselves about why it's good and right for you to be right where you're at right now. Well, I mean, if that's your recompense, right? If you find if you want sympathy or something, I don't know, okay, but I would say go be victorious. Go be victorious. Look, I don't think we need more victims on planet Earth. I think we got plenty of those. I think we need some victors. I think we need some leaders. Can you be a leader? It starts by leading yourself, right? I know there's a lot of people that want to change the world and, save the manatees or whatever, and they can't even clean their friggin' bedroom, right? So it starts right here. Go be powerful. Go demonstrate that. And I believe it starts with prioritizing based on self-determined importances or non-importances, what you should be doing with your time. Now, let's say that you've decided that I'm the future. I'm here to take over, like e-commerce, here I come. Fan-friggin-tastic. Then it's all chips in. all chips in. If that's what you've decided for yourself, it's all chips in. Half measures avail us nothing. Some of you new members here, you're going through the accelerator program. You're learning about some of the stuff that happens behind the scenes with Rachel and Adam and Amy and the various coaches who started at nothing. And now here they are, millions of dollars down the road, right? You're learning about ways to accelerate all that. Speed. Money likes speed. Okay. It doesn't like sitting there, money doesn't like you sitting there thinking, what should I do? Decision. Yeah. Acceleration. I mean, just listen to those words. They sound good to me. Acceleration. In other words, more done in less time. Great. It starts with prioritizing what you're doing. Here's your time. I didn't give it to you. You already had it, but here it is. What will you do? So when we meet here tomorrow, 23 hours and 44 minutes from now, or when you meet with Lana tomorrow, because I'm going to be on another meeting at that time, but I'll be back here with you in 48 hours, 47 hours and 44 minutes for Fun Friday. Okay. But when we meet again, if you had to come up with a report and said, here's all the advancement, here's all the accomplishments I've done in my business. It may or may not have produced coin. Okay. But you've put things in place. Okay. And it may have produced actual profit for you as well. I mean, some of you have been here for months, right? So yeah, go profit unapologetically. Okay. But let's say you're here 2 days or something. Okay. Well, you got to get stuff set up, right? Money doesn't just fall out of the sky. So look at this advancement I did. I made a decision. This was important. This was necessary. Something as simple as, or as obvious as setting up an Etsy account or something. Okay, fine. Did you accomplish that? Was that important? Well, you said it was. Okay, fantastic. Well, then, did you do it? Great. So could you give a report? By the way, this is very therapeutic, cathartic even. I mean, when you make a list of all the things that you intend to do, and then you check them off, oh man, it's like a little shot of victory. Done. My favorite 4-letter word. Done. I hope you got some ideas on what you could do to not just work in your business or in your life, to have those 24 hours go by, because they're going to go by, regardless of whatever your intentions are. But you actually worked on it, not just in it, but you worked on it. And you could see those seeds sprouting, right? And you can acknowledge your wins by checking things off. Done. And then we'll be having a whole different conversation tomorrow, Friday, next year, right? About how you did, not about how you should have. Who's got some thoughts about this? I'd love to hear. It was a quiet group today, so that just kind of channeled through me, whatever that just was. Hey, Kimberly, come on out, my friend. Kimberly.
Well, a couple of things came to mind. One, when you said it's going to be a year from now, whether you do it or not, I was just helping a friend sort of make some decisions about a career path. She was making a sharp turn, basically. And she was saying, well, I'm not going to go down this path, because she was going to go into a nursing program, which was a sharp turn for her because she was a bank teller. And, and she said, well, by the time this course is only offered, but by the time I do this and that, I'll be 54, by the time I get this. And I know there were other considerations in that, but her children are all grown, and she's relatively healthy, and there's no reason for her not to. And I said, do you think you won't be able to do it when you're 54? And she said, oh, no, it's not that. It's just, I'm going to be 54 when I come out of the program. And it reminded me of my nurse midwife. My last 2 children were born at home for a very specific reason. And one of my nurse midwives had told me that she had gone back. She was a nurse, and she had to go back and do her midwifery training. And she said, everybody kept telling me not to do it because when I came out, I'd be 50. And she said, I'm going to be 50 either way.
Yeah,
So I might as well do the program. And then I'll be doing what I want to do, when I'm 50. And she was close to 60 at that point, and she'd been doing it, and she was an expert in the field, and she was exactly who we needed for that birth. So it's kind of along the same lines. And the next thing I was going to say is part of what I do in the rest of my life, is I do a ministry online, and one of my clients that I'm working with, it's kind of a spiritual mentorship, and she's very much in need of a to-do list versus a to-do list. And
I'm sorry, you lost me on that.
A to-do list, like I did XYZ, I made, like for her, it might be I fed the kids,
Okay.
I got
So like
dressed.
checking things off, acknowledging one's own actions, right? Okay.
Yes, we made it to the activities today, on time. I didn't judge myself for, not doing XYZ. I, kept the negative thoughts out. I followed the Holy Spirit today, things like that. And you can do that with your business too. I thought, this is great. I'm going to do this for myself. Once we worked through, the kind of sheet I was going to design for her. And I'm going to be incorporating that with other clients. And I'm going to make one for myself for e-commerce, because everyone needs that, because otherwise you get kind of bogged down in the idea of, well, I didn't get enough mug designs up, or I didn't make any sales today. I didn't do what you can get bogged down at the negative. And you could say, well, I made it on the conference call. I gleaned this wisdom, or I read whatever my 10 minutes today. You can focus on the positive and just keep moving.
So important. Thank you. The great insights, Kimberly. I love that question. Well, how old will you be if you don't do it? That's great. Oh my goodness. Well done, Kimberly. Hey, we got Pat here, and then Shannon. Hey, Pat, you've got the floor.
Hey, I just wanted to give an example. It was a very good example for me. My mom only had an 8th grade education when my brother and I were growing up, and she was determined we'd go to college, which we both did, but she kept pressing us, go for your PhD, go for your PhD, and neither one of us wanted, and finally, we looked at her, and it was funny because we both said it at the same time. If you want a PhD, go and get your own. So at age 50, she went to get her GED, and then she got her BA, then her MA, and her PhD. She got her PhD at age 62. She started teaching as teaching assistant or something they call it at age 60. She fought because they wanted to make her retire at age 70. And she said, that's age discrimination, and I'll take you to court. So they let her keep teaching. She was teaching at university, and she stopped teaching at age 84. And she lived, a 20 from age 50 to 85. She lived her 30 years that I, put in early. And so when I started my last 5-year plan at age 70, people were laughing at me saying, oh, what are you going to do? Well, here I am at 79 and I'm starting a new business. And I'm not going to give up. I'll do something until the day I die. My mom died at 101, and she was still active doing things. So age and all the distractions that you put into your life they just can hold you back if you think that way.
Hmm.
And when you said the to-do list, I had mentioned last week, say crossing things out for me is a negative thing. Because when I would write papers and do things, when you didn't like the way it was written, you crossed it out, and rewrote. So instead, I have a second page. I have my planner on one page, the other one. And every time I do something, I write it out what I did. And to me, that makes it real. So that's just a thought for anybody who's having, any trouble coming up with a way to make yourself do things. You just think, plant the tree today and hope it'll be around in 30 years to see it, in full bloom.
Thank you, Pat. Always great to hear about your experience. So you are a valued member of this group. Shannon, Alabama. Shannon, what's going on with you? Shannon.
Okay, I'm not really good with computers. That's why I'm not as far as I should be in my business.
Uh-huh.
But it blows my mind that I just started college at Grand Canyon University, and this is what my lesson is in class is time management and making a schedule. So what I did was I actually made an hour by hour schedule now so that I can be successful in both school and try to figure this out, the business out. Like it's up on the wall where you can see it and it's in your face and you got to stay on task, like your to-do list, you do it in the morning, check it off. And it just, I don't know. So I understand what you're saying about time management and all that stuff.
Good. Well, glad you're here and that you're back. I know it's been a couple months. All right. So, yeah, Shannon from Alabama, everybody. Good to see you. Good times. Hey, we got Stu and Miriam and Nadia. Hey, Stu, you've got the floor, sir. Stu.
Sorry. So my frame moved on the Hollywood Squares here.
All right.
Anyway. So I find quite often that myself is kind of smarter than me in getting out of tasks, avoiding tasks. So discipline has always been a bit of a challenge for me. But again, it's something I've developed some coping strategies, and I got this one. I'm not sure who I can credit it with, but it was I've got 5 minutes. I got no time to do this, and I counter that with, well, I've got 5 minutes. I might even be 2 minutes, but so many times that task that I've been avoiding gets accomplished because I say, okay, I got 5 minutes. And I time myself. Well, I wind up many times ignoring the timer when it goes off the 5 minutes, and I just keep plowing through with what I got started. Because it's kind of like, you get it rolling and it just keeps moving, right? And that's the problem I find is just getting started. I got all sorts, I've got no problem with what do I need to do today? I got tons of things to do today, and I have list upon list, but getting started is the hardest part. And this is one thing that I found, and I use it with this system that we're all in now. Is there's stuff I'm starting to find that I don't really like doing that, but it needs to be done, and so I'll give it 5 minutes. So, anyways, just a little something.
Thank you. Yeah, overcoming our own inertia is, And how to not do that is to sit there and not know what to do. So great news. If you know what to do, then you don't have to sit there trying to make decisions. The decision's already made, and then you'll see yourself moving because you made a decision. To decide and to not act is to not have decided, right? So it's kind of a self-fulfilling thing. Well done, Stu. I'm excited for you, man. This is good. Good stuff, everybody. Good stuff. Great feedback today. Where is Miriam? And then we'll go to Nadia. Hey, Miriam, you've got the floor.
Hey, what I was about to I remember, first of all, my father, he was a great example for me. He got 3 business degrees. He could become, when he was young, he started his own business. I was behind him. I practically was his manager. I drove my first car at 15 years old, and I was managing a company already at that age. So since then, I accomplished 3 business degrees, and I still keep on doing trainings. Since 2016, I've been joining a lot of trainings to do business online, but all of them were a failure. Well, not a failure, it was just an experience.
Mhm.
And I always in my mind the fact that Albert Einstein, he never gave up and he created electricity. So that's on my mind all the time. So that's the reason, even if I don't have the time, I have a tight schedule and I accomplish all the tasks. And I won't say that I'm successful, but I'm trying to manage time the way that I'm gonna slow down in the future, because in my hands there is a lot of stuff. So with this
Mhm.
business, hopefully I slow down and I get rid of some of the other stuff and I just dedicate to one thing. And I'm gonna manage to be more freedom, I would say. That's my train of thought.
Very good. Very good. Well, glad you're here, Miriam. Miriam from New Jersey, everybody. She's new to our group. Glad you're here, Miriam. You know, I grew up in New Jersey. Yeah, I know where you are. Hey, Nadia vanished. Where's Nadia? And then I see Kimberly's hand up, and I guess we're going to wrap up with that. Is Nadia here? Or maybe she just, yeah, here she is.
Hi, I'm here. I just had a couple questions. I loved what Shannon was saying, and I loved the ta-da list. That's actually something I thought about doing a lot in my journal, but I was going to ask you for additional feedback if you guys have any ideas or thoughts. I have ADD, and a lot of times I don't even write things in my planner. I'll get myself on a routine of things I know that I need to do. Sorry, that's my lunch is waiting for me in the microwave. And if I write too many things in my planner, when I look at it, it's like complete overwhelm. My eyes kind of glaze over. So Shannon, what did you do? You said you have your list in front of you at all times. I mean, is it on a dry erase board? Is it like, do you print something out? Do you guys have any thoughts with that?
I have a little planner. Sorry. How do you do this? Okay, I have a little planner, and then I also have I made a big paper schedule, like a calendar / daily schedule, and it's right by my desk so that I can see it all the time. It's in my face because I have ADD too, and I have 2 kids I'm homeschooling, and
Wow.
it's crazy. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like trial and error sometimes, right? Really.
It really is.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Awesome. Look at that. People helping people. Very nice. With or without so-called ADD. It's all going to work out. So Kimberly, you had another tip, and I know you put a link in there. Kimberly, why don't we wrap up with you today? Kimberly. Kimberly, please. Kimberly.
Sorry, I had to
There she is.
unmute there. Yeah, I put the ta-da list, one of the prototypes that I'm using to make my list for my client. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the ADD or the ADHD, because that's something that I've had to learn to kind of embrace. I homeschooled 3, and they're all grown and successful. So you can do it. But for me, it was almost even remembering to open the planner, because it's all right there. And instead of just going around and jumping around to all the different things, because everything is a shiny thing. And sometimes it's embracing the procrastination. So you can know that and Stu kind of reminded me of this with the timer. So let's say that we can be very distracted working at home by the dishes or the laundry that needs to be done, or, those types of tasks. So one of the things you can do is set a timer on doing the kitchen, because maybe the kitchen's not going to get done in 20 minutes, but you'll get the, dishwasher done. And then the machine does the work. You can get a load of laundry done and the machine does the work. And then you can move on, and then you start working on your business, and you set a timer for an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is that And then you can go back and check the machines and do the next thing through. And those are very helpful. And then it's almost like you feel like you're procrastinating on the work by doing your kitchen thing or your laundry thing, and you feel like you're sort of cheating on the laundry by doing your work. It's just kind of a mental adjustment that you give. I don't know. It always helps me, because whenever I'm doing one thing, I always feel like, well, I should be doing XYZ. And so it just sort of helps me. It's a mental adjustment for me to think that I'm always feel like I should be doing something else. So I just sort of tell myself that I'm procrastinating my work by doing my laundry, and I'm procrastinating my laundry by doing my work.
Oh,
And
my
timers
goodness.
help. Timers help.
Yeah. Good stuff. Thank you. You know what? I'll add one thing to all this. No matter what, interesting stuff we're dealing with, eat your vitamins. Yeah. Eat your vitamins, right? Keep those nutrition in, get good rest. And then you're more on it. So,
What could you, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but your vitamin, what was it? B you mentioned?
oh, B is happy pills. Yeah. Eat handfuls of B. Yeah. B. Spinach, kale, right? Vegetables, green leafy vegetables, vitamin B.
Is there a
That's-
particular B though? B6, B12?
Eat them all. Eat them all. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you have nightmares, then B12 before bed is, that's the stuff.
John,
If you want to
John,
talk
this
more
is-
about that, I know stuff about that. Still, feel free to reach out. Hey, Deborah.
John, I just want to say I take B12 complex, and it's all of them in there. Every B that you can think of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eat your bees.
B12 complex, yeah.
Good times. I got a special formula that I get wholesale. So anyway, let's wrap up, guys. Thank you for a great session here. It started with like 3 of us, and now we got 30 of us. So there's that. Tune in next time for more thrills and excitement. Lana's going to be here with you tomorrow. She's getting her legs under her. Be nice to her. And then I'll be back with you on Fun Friday. So bring a joke, and just so you new members know, on Fridays, we dress up in Hawaiian shirts, funny hats, whatever you want to wear. Somebody's got to tell a joke. And of course, we always love a good dog show. So if you got some pets, doesn't have to be a dog, but